I think everybody here loves you guys so much. I just want to ask, throughout this whole journey, what is your most memorable moment? Like the moment that sticks with you? I know like we've been through a pandemic and all these things. Those moments that like stick with you that you think back and just like, you just always come back to those same memories. What is that moment?
Of my life?
Of your life? Of your moment in Twin Peaks? Of your life?
Of my life in relationship to Twin Peaks.
Of your life or just in Twin Peaks?
Well, my life ones I ain't gonna keep. Just my own self. I just wanted to make sure that I understood, were you asking about the pandemic time or the Twin Peaks time?
During Twin Peaks.
Okay, thank you so much. So many, again, just like...
There's outside things, like one thing that we got to share together, which was really special, was when we were going to London to do a Twin Peaks thing there, and David basically called Sheryl on the way. She was on the way to the airport in LA. I was in New York and I was going to meet her in London, and he called her and said, you know, we're going to do the new show and you're going to be in it, and I think she said, well, I'm going to see Dana in a few hours. Is he in it? Can I tell him? And he said, yeah, you can tell him. So that will always be special to me because we got to kind of share that moment. You know what I mean? It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, is it's the things that happened behind the scenes for us. It's the friendships that we've made that have lasted, 35 years, is that right? 33 years, 32 years. Those are the, and the behind the scenes stuff, the between stuff, the laughing, backstage stuff. That's the kind of just
lifetime
just the simple,
friendships.
Yeah.
I mean, she's friends still with Grace and Dan. I mean, all of her family. And I'm still really good friends with Charlotte. I love her, and I don't know. It's just like it's everybody. Really, we got lucky with a good group of people.
One thing is, I was introduced to this in June, so this is a lot all at once. I saw The Return first and the Psych spoof, and then I saw season 1 and 2. I want to ask, with COVID and isolation and not being able to see anybody in person for months on end, did it cause any of you to reflect on your time on the show or during the film, and even reach out to members, whether it be cast or crew, and I don't know, either rekindle or see how they're doing now or share little memories? Did that at all happen in the past year?
When I saw Dana last night for the first time, I said to him, I didn't know if I'd ever get to see you again in this life. Last year, because for all of us, there's a lot we didn't know. There's a lot we still don't know. We can't take this for granted. We can't take fresh air for granted. We can't, water for granted, everything. So in answer to your question, it made me reflect not just on Twin Peaks, but every single aspect of my life. And yes, people did reach out to each other. We couldn't see each other, we weren't in the same states. But just, really, the practice of reaching out to people you care about. Hey, I'm thinking of you, how are you? I love you, I miss you. We can't do enough of that as a human species.
Yes.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. It's my birthday. This is the best birthday present ever. your characters now versus how you felt about them playing them as like 20-year-olds. Because when I met Bobby Briggs as a teenager, I was like, he sucks, he's a dick. And now I'm like, he's kind of funny. Like, would you have more empathy for your characters now that you're older?
Bobby, the later version of Bobby was probably a little more like me than the earlier version. But the earlier version was a conglomeration of a lot of people that I knew growing up, and a little soup some of other stuff. But, I think I relate more probably to the straighter Bobby, more normal Bobby. I think that was a good answer, right?
Hi, thank you so much for being here. We all really appreciate it. I was wondering, after all these years, when this movie first came out, it was met with mixed reviews. What's it like to experience an audience reaction, and such a positive one? It's a horrifying film, quite frankly. But what's it like to hear people laugh at certain parts and ooh and ah all these years later?
I haven't watched it with an audience in 35 years, so I don't know I don't know where they're laughing. And you know what? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should sit in the audience sometime. I just, it's a film that's a little bit difficult for me to watch. I have only seen it once since it came out. I saw it twice, I think, when it came out, maybe 3 times, because I had to go to a screening, and then I've only seen it once since, and the only reason I saw it once since is because we did the return, and I thought, better brush up on my research. So I don't know where you all are laughing.
That come in handy, by the way, that research you did? Hey.
That did not answer your question at all. Do you want to answer it? About watching it now versus when it came out.
The only thing I thought of when you said that question was that in the pilot, when Leland's on the phone with Grace Zabriskie, with Mrs. Palmer, and she's screaming on the other end of the line, and the camera goes down the phone cord, and then at the very end she does another scream, like at the end. That always cracks me up. And it's not supposed to be funny, I don't think, but it just is. It's like easier than crying, maybe? I don't know.
Hi, thank you, like everyone else, thank you so much for everything that you do. When I was deep in the throes of my sad girl high school days, Twin Peaks was my comfort show. And the reason I keep revisiting it isn't just the mystery or the analyses or the 1,001 like subreddit threads. It's because of the characters and the connection I feel with the characters and the connection the actors feel with the characters. So my question is, where you're sitting now, if you could reach through time and space and say something to Laura Palmer or to Bobby Briggs, in that time, what would that be?
To Laura, please get some help.
Where's the party? See, this is what it is. She's serious, I'm an asshole.
Holy shit, you two, that was intense. Quick comment, Sheryl, the laughing scene in the woods was one of my favorite performances of all time.
They're dancing.
Incredible. Everything, it was very well done. But my question, I'm a big fan of backwards talking, and I have dabbled in it over the years. So this is mostly for Sheryl, but Dana, I have a follow-up for you. Were there any particular lines, backward lines, that were tripping you up that you had a really hard time with? And Dana, did you ever get to try it offset or for fun?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, I have to use a different part of my brain when I go to work in the Red Room. I cannot, the second that I start thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this backwards. Oh my God, look at these lines. I freeze and get stuck and can't figure out how in the world to do it. I have to go into, because it's moving, everything is backwards, right? So in answer to some of those questions too about sort of suspending the logical part of the brain for a minute, it's almost like unlocking a code. That if once I can get in there, then I can live in there. But I can't question it. As soon as I start questioning it or doubting it, or then I'm just, a mess. But it's, so I don't remember, you all remember my lines, I don't remember my lines. I just remember the emotional experience of what it feels like to exist in that dimension.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense, doesn't it?
And I never dabbled in it. Oh man, that's better be good, buddy.
Pressure is on.
So yeah, this year was the first time I watched Twin Peaks, like at all. So this is just wild seeing it here right now. This isn't really a Twin Peaks related question at all, but do you guys watch David Lynch's weather updates on
I have been known to tune in.